This is a full height soft close larder unit. This one's in a 500mm wide cabinet, also available in 300, 400 and 600. I'm going to show you the installation process for this, which is the same for all sizes. It comes with 6 baskets, each one taking up 16 kilos, giving you a maximum of just under 100 kilos. It has a nice smooth soft close action. Before you start, make sure that your cabinet is strong and stable, preferably secured to the wall, and if it's anything over 400mm wide, give it 2 extra legs to make sure that it's strong underneath. So first of all, unbox all of your components and check them against the fitting instructions to make sure that you've got everything that you should have and everything marries up. For installing this unit, you will require a pencil, a set square, a tape measure, a ruler, masking tape, a drill, Phillips screwdriver and a spirit level. So first step of the installation is to get your template, your base runner and the screws that go with them. So you need to find the centre line for your cabinet. And draw down the centre of the cabinet. This is going to be a line for your screws. So take your template and line it up with the centre line of the cabinet, flush with the front. You may find that you need to tape this in position. And from there, put your pilot holes in place for your screws on all of the red spots. That's 8 screw holes in all. Then take your bottom runner, place it in the bottom of the cabinet, line it up with the holes that you've drilled, and then screw into place. And repeat for the other 7 screws. At this stage, it's crucial that you put in screw C, which is the adjustment screw, because you won't be able to do it at a later stage, and that goes into the hole closest to the back out of the front 2 screw holes. So step 2 is to get your top runner in place. So again, the key is finding centre line. Running your line backwards from there. You're then going to use the second part of the template, which lines up with the front of the line. Again, this will need taping in place. And then put your pilot holes in place. It's absolutely crucial that these are along the centre line, as if it's not in line with the bottom runner, then the unit won't function correctly. You can then remove your templates, ready for you to screw your top runner in place. You can then screw your runner in place, lined up with these holes. There's 6 screws in total. That's the top runner in place. Step 3 is to insert the top runner channel into the top frame. It just slides in like that and secures with 3 screws. So at this stage you connect the top and bottom frames. I find it easiest to do this upside down because otherwise these pieces fall off. It's essential that your collars and covers are on at this stage. So step 4 is to insert the frame into the bottom runner. So slide the runner out. Frame sits inside and should drop down and slide back. This bar here must be fully inserted into this groove and slid right the way back. You need to put your locking screw in place here and your washer. It's essential that the frame is pushed right back into the bottom runner as you do this to secure it in place for the stability of the larder. So step 5 is to set the larder to the right height. First of all, take the lock off at the back by just sliding it forwards. This slides up and then you have to set it to a certain height and lock it in place. There must be a gap of 61mm between the cabinet and the underside of this frame. The easiest way to do this is to set it in place with a set square and then lock off the lug screws on the bottom frame, and then you repeat the process for the front of the unit. So again, 61mm, adjust the height of the frame and then lock the lug screws in place. At this stage, it's worth double checking this measurement at the top, as it can be quite tricky to achieve this, and it's crucial to the stability and operation of the unit. At this stage, it's essential to put this lock on here. This stops the unit from sliding out past the top runner, and the unit should never be operated without this lock in place. Step 6 is to put the frame brackets onto the frame. Each of the lower ones has 2 threaded holes to choose from, depending on what height you want them at. And once these are on, they're height adjustable. At this stage, it's also essential to put on the adjustment screws, which go onto the outer holes. So step 7 is to take your door mounting brackets and fix them to the frame mounting brackets using the screws and washers. You fix this one in place and then repeat the process with the top one. So at this stage, if you close the unit, place your central bracket and then measure from the bottom of the cabinet up to the central hole. So that gives you your height for fixing this bracket to the door. So then take that measurement and mark up on the door for where you need to be, accounting for the difference between the height of the cabinet and the height of the door. So you can now mount the door on the frame. If you open the unit, and then you can now lower the door down and screw it into place. At this stage, it's worth double checking to make sure that your door is completely in line with the cabinet, so it's not twisted. You can now screw the door to the top and bottom brackets, making sure that it's lined up. And repeat for the other side and for the top bracket. So at this stage, you can make any adjustments that you need to make to the door. So if you close the unit, you can see that it's closer in at the bottom than it is at the top. And this can be adjusted with a tilt setting at the bottom. So if you loosen off this locking screw and adjust the screw behind it, this will alter the tilt of the door. Make sure at this stage that the frame is still held firmly back in the runner, as this can pull it out of position. And as I close the door again, you can see that that's brought that back into line. It doesn't necessarily need to be flush with the cabinet at this stage because we still have fine tuning to do. After this adjustment's been made, it's crucial that you double check that this 61mm measurement is still correct, and if not, adjust accordingly. Fine adjustment can now be done. Height can be altered by loosening off the screws on the 3 brackets here, and the door will lift up and down. You can do side-to-side movement by loosening the 2 locking screws here and sliding the door one way or the other. And you can adjust the depth the door sits from the cabinet by loosening the locking screws and adjusting the screws underneath, and then locking off again accordingly. This stage, make sure that any debris is cleared from your cabinet. This is especially important around the runners. So you're now ready to put your baskets in. So you use one of these clips on each side. They just push into the holes. Lift your basket into place. The rod along the bottom sits just inside these grooves, and then place your locking clip over the top. Give it a firm push backwards until it clicks. And then repeat that for the other 5 baskets. The top basket is height adjustable, and that's done by loosening the grub screw with your Allen key, dropping the bracket to the height that you want it, repeating that with the other side. The height of the baskets can be adjusted at any time. All you do is take this cover off, which is easiest done by just popping a screwdriver into the groove there and pushing forward with your fingers, and the whole bracket pops off. So this is the finished product, full height soft close Larder unit. It will give you years of service as long as you give it proper care and maintenance. Make sure that you keep the bottom runner free of oil and lubricant, and don't use any harsh abrasives when cleaning it. Thank you for watching.